I wanted to go into a little more depth about Mylar bags and food storage. So, like most people that start getting into prepping, and I've talked about oxygen absorbers being just basically a gimmick. I don't think Mylar bags are necessarily a gimmick. I think they definitely can have their place. My thing is finding better ways to use them, because here's what Mylar is made out of. It's polyester and aluminum. So, and I've put food directly into Mylar bags, not thinking, not knowing any better at the time. You're just thinking, we still kind of have this mindset, oh, yeah, it's food grade, it's food grade, it's food grade. And so everything is either plastic or aluminum. And Mylar is both. At least with the Mylar, I believe the aluminum is the outside coating. And then the inside is the polyester, which, is basically plastic. Okay. So I was talking one day about, for those people who don't really want their food to touch Mylar, here's some ideas. And somebody kind of freaked out and said, are you saying I need to throw out all the food I put up in Mylar? Never once said that. Never once said that. Okay. I still have stuff that's packed in Mylar that I did like that, directly into the Mylar and then into the buckets. Doing that, really even considering what these bags are made out of. I'm not going to go throw all that stuff away. You think I'm not throwing that away? No. Not unless it's bad. I mean, it's actually bad, which I'm assuming it's not. So Mylar can have its place because it's going to help, especially if you're storing in plastic buckets. Well, even in metal galvanized cans, the Mylar not only will help keep moisture out, that's another barrier. It'll also help prevent the aroma of the food getting to those very sensitive rat and mice noses, and they can chew through plastic. So if you got things in plastic buckets and they can smell it, they'll chew right through the plastic. It might take them a while, but they can do it. And they then easily chew through a Mylar bag if they can smell it, but they have to be able to smell it. And also, so yeah, it's going to help keep it dry. It's going to help keep the smell. And it's a lot easier to push out as much air out of a Mylar bag. I don't bother with the doggone oxygen absorbers again. I find them to be a waste of money, but you can push a lot of air out and seal it up, and it'll be just as close to being vacuum sealed as you can get. And that's going to do a lot to help preserve it. But how do you get away from the plastic and the aluminum? Well, what I've started doing, mostly what I do now is anything I'm working through quickly, like my long-term storage stuff is long-term storage. It's in Mylar. But the stuff the buckets, I do keep big buckets here of grains and stuff because I work through them fairly quickly. So my thing now is since all of the Azure standard grain and popcorn and stuff are in paper, I love that. Some of the places I bought from before were in some kind of poly bag, but some kind of plastic, but at least these are in paper. And I try to stuff the whole thing down into the bucket. So because the bucket's plastic, and then I've got the paper as that kind of barrier between the plastic and the grains or the flour or the beans or whatever. And if I do any more like long-term storage, or I want to put it into a bucket and put it in our offsite location, what I would do now is put the paper bag, put the whole bag, if it'll fit, inside a big Mylar bag, push out as much air as I can, and then seal that up, and then put that in a bucket or a metal trash can. And that's how I do it from now on. I haven't started that exact thing yet. I said something in a video recently that made it sound like I have. That's what I'm switching to, but I haven't actually done that yet. The bag inside the Mylar, inside the bucket or trash can. But that's what I will do whenever I get to that point where I'm working through all that long-term stuff, and then I want to make that change. But here at the house, I've definitely made the change where it stays in the paper bag it came in, and that goes inside the bucket. So it doesn't, I just want to clarify that because Mylar can still have can be great for food storage. But, my recommendation is if you can get away with it, don't put your food directly in the Mylar. I don't think it's going to totally ruin your food. It's just the whole idea of us always being constantly exposed to aluminums and plastic, overexposed. Aluminum has its place. In fact, it is actually, what is it called? It is a nutrient our body needs. The problem is even naturally sourced, we're overexposed to it because it's in the baking powder, it's in the deodorant, though it's less and less these days. It's in the air, it's here, it's there, people are baking in it, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's a matter of we're trying to find more and more ways to just decrease how much plastic and aluminum we're being exposed to as much as possible. But also don't ever feel that because you learn that, I shouldn't, I have stuff in plastic, I have stuff in my freezer, it's in plastic. Sometimes there's things that are just no completely getting around it. The cartons I store, the milk cartons I get, I don't know entirely what they're lined with, and I freeze them. I'm taking a chance. Everything's a chance, right? You could store things in a paper bag and just go sit it somewhere and then have it end up being full of weevils or moisture. No matter what you do, you're taking a chance one way or the other. So it's always about just trying to find ways to sort of better what you do with your food storage and do it in baby steps. And don't worry, just like with the trying to be like everybody else, don't feel like just because you learned that, well, gosh, this is bad for you and this is bad, now I got to throw everything out. There are certain things I do think people should throw out, and that is anything with any cooking item that you are using, that you're putting food directly into, that is made that's got Teflon. I think that, yes, I agree that all needs to be thrown out. Once I learned about Teflon and realized that we wanted to get off the thyroid medication, and that was one of the major things, is the fluoride, which is what Teflon is basically, that's in the water, in the Teflon pans. I need to get rid of all of it. And so, yeah, I threw out the Teflon. That's really bad stuff. So if I'm going to tell people to throw anything out, throw out your Teflon, stainless steel, cast iron, glass, and what am I forgetting? Stainless steel, cast iron, glass. There's always something I forget. But anyway, stoneware. Yeah, I was thinking stoneware because that's the one I always forget because I have a couple of stoneware baking sheets I use for cookies, but I don't make cookies that much, so I always forget about my stoneware. I do use it though. It could be a great thing. Okay, I think that was mostly it. I kind of felt bad that this person was, I don't know if they were mad at me or if they were just freaking out. Like, oh, now you're saying I got to throw everything out? No. Just do better next time. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just, okay. Okay, let me make this change for the next time. And, that's the best we can do sometimes. And you put a lot of investment into your grains, into the different things that you're putting up. And, as long as the food is still good, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks for coming in. Take care, and God bless.